Hey, what's up guys? I'm Dave Klein, and welcome back to my Dark Souls lore series. Today, we're going to talk about the mystery that is the goddess Velka, from being associated in taking the undead to Lordran, to her mysterious ties to the painted world without ever appearing in the game. She has made a strong mark. So, let's begin. We know from the Black Set and Velka's rapier, both found in the painted world of Ariamis, that Velka is the goddess of sin. Oswald of Karim dons her gear and is one of the pardoners who will pardon the chosen undead of their sin. According to the Mask of Velka, the pardoners listen to the confessions of sinners, urging reflection and salvation. Their masks symbolize separation from worldly desires. Velka maintains the Book of the Guilty, where she oversees the list of the guilty who have disrespected the gods of their covenants and shall one day face the wrath of the Blades of the Dark Moon. According to the Karmic Justice Miracle, for each sin there is a punishment, and it is the task of Goddess Velka to define the sin and mete out the punishment. We also know, thanks to the Vow of Silence miracle, Velka is a rogue deity, but she is versed in arts both new and old, and is considered to have a great range of influence, even as far as gods are concerned. What we gain from this is Velka is a deity not associated with the gods of Lordran, who is also rather smart and knowledgeable of both the new and old arts. She seems to prefer her followers are intelligent over faithful, as Velka's talisman allows players to cast miracles not by drawing upon faith, but intelligence. In fact, even her rapier scales with intelligence, with a scaling grade of B. We also know Velka has a strong association with crows. In the painted world of Ariamis, crows can be found everywhere, guarding Velka's equipment and miracles. Flocks of crows will disperse as you approach her gear, and half-crow, half-human hybrids stand guard. The crow hybrids also carry souvenirs of reprisal, associated with the Book of the Guilty. Yet another connection is Velka is known as the Black-Haired Witch, similar to the statue in the painted world, which would seem to have black hair. Finally, in the Dark Souls design works, Miyazaki-san is quoted saying, "The crow demons were originally designed as worshippers of the goddess Velka, whose bodies were warped by their devotion. I think this obsession makes them really interesting characters." We can therefore assume a number of things. The crow who carries the chosen undead from the undead asylum to Lordran is due to Velka, and all of the crows in the painted world are also associated with her.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
So, here's the big question. Why is Velka taking the chosen undead to Lordran, and does she have anything to do with the legend of the undead? First, let's rewind. When taking a look at the painted world of Ariamis, you will also find crows flocking around and guarding the Dark Ember. The Dark Ember being an ember required for weapon ascension. The church long hid the forbidden Black Ember, and no living blacksmith knows of it. Occult weapons were used to hunt the gods, and are effective against their following and kin. Outside of this, we also find Velka's rapier, which just so happens to do a large amount of occult damage, and is an effective item for fighting Big Bad Gwyn. Looking at the effigy shield, we also know that in an ill-fated plot to destroy the very gods, the followers of the occult once attempted to steal the power of Gravelord Nito, the first of the dead. It would seem that Velka played a major role in the occult rebellion, and may, in fact, have been leading the charge. Her weapons deal occult damage, her crows guard and protect the Dark Ember, and everything associated with both Velka and the occult has been locked away into the painted world of Ariamis. But the occult rebellion failed.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Karim, the pardoner. Thou art a friend. For thee, a warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess, or to accuse? For indeed all sin is my domain.
Velka is the goddess of sin. So why then is Gwendolyn meting out justice to those in her book of guilty? The goddess of sin Velka oversees the list of the guilty who have disrespected the gods of their covenants and shall one day face the wrath of the Blades of the Dark Moon. The Blades of the Dark Moon being Gwendolyn's covenant. We can also purchase indictments from Oswald of Kareem in order to add indicted players onto the list of sinners. Yet, the indicted player will be added to a list of unfortunate souls who will one day face the wrath of the Blades of the Dark Moon. For joining Gwendolyn's Blades of the Dark Moon, players are given a blue-eye orb and tasked with invading the world of the guilty, collecting souvenirs of reprisal from them. These mystical orbs are granted to Blades of the Dark Moon, knights who serve the Dark Sun Gwendolyn, so that they may serve the gods in meting out vengeance. Note the wording there, not justice, but vengeance. This has led some to speculate Gwendolyn and Velka are working together, yet there are only 2 NPCs in the game who drop souvenirs of reprisal, Lothric of Kareem and Velka's Crowmen. Gwendolyn thereby rewards you for killing Velka's Crow hybrids and taking as many souvenirs of reprisal from them as you can. Velka's talisman allows undead to cast miracles by using intelligence, whereas Gwendolyn's Dark Moon Catalyst does the exact opposite, allowing undead to cast spells via faith and not intelligence, with the faith scaling of A. And what happens if players choose to kill Gwendolyn? Oswald of Kareem will gleefully greet you with a new piece of dialogue, only available after doing so.
Good tidings. Thou art welcome. Laudable is thy dedication to sin.
Oswald would seem to be congratulating the undead for a job well done. Bear in mind, again, Velka is the goddess of sin, not justice. Whether you're being congratulated for being sinful and killing Gwendolyn, or for killing a sinner, that of Gwendolyn, you are still being congratulated, nonetheless. Another point worth bringing up. As I discussed in my Four Kings lore video, Velka and Kareem's influence can be found throughout New Londo. The exact same statue built to honor Velka in the Painted World also exists on the shrine the Four Kings reside in. It would seem Velka even may have had a hand in the Four Kings' betrayal of Gwyn, as no statues of him can be found anywhere throughout New Londo, even despite granting the Four Kings a fragment of his Lord Soul. So, what does all of this say? For one thing, it would seem that Velka was at war with Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is systematically killing those in her Book of the Guilty, and if players in the list are killed by a Blade of the Dark Moon, their ranking in the Book of the Guilty goes down, making it possible that this is a bad thing. Gwendolyn is also having his covenant slaughter crows, while meanwhile, the intelligent rogue deity Velka has been busy scheming against the gods. Yes, Velka is a schemer. The nation most associated with Velka is Kareem, which is a nation centered around scheming, stealing, and backstabbing. That tells us a lot. You would think that if Velka was associated with justice, the nation associated with her would be all about that. However, Kareem seems to expound the exact opposite.
I am free. Now, I can get back to work.
Lothric of Kareem schemes to take Anastasia, the Firekeeper's soul, possibly for the love of the goddess Fina.
Whatever's the matter?
No.
I can tell. You need me more than ever.
Marvelous Chester schemes to aid the chosen undead, and when their guard is down, destroy them.
Thou art welcome any time. It is only human to commit a sin.
Oswald schemes to use his priestly powers to absolve your sins for a price. He even sells indictments, further seeming to encourage you to rat others out of their sins, thereby making them need absolution.
Stocking up on indictments? How honorable of you.
Arster of Kareem, a famous earl from the region, utilizing his intelligence, uses others to benefit himself. The various bite rings are infamous bite rings commissioned by Sir Arster of Kareem. Despite the dreadful rumors surrounding its creation, this ring is an unmistakable asset. He also creates purging stones, which are a secret treasure of Arster, the Earl of Kareem. They reduce curse buildup and break curses. Humans are helpless against curses and can only redirect their influence. The purging stone does not dispel curses, but receives them as a surrogate. The stone itself was once a person, or some other being. Anyone we find clearly influenced by Velka is plotting something, and it would seem Velka, the rogue deity, has been scheming away herself. I believe Velka plotted against the gods and began the occult rebellion. Once this failed, she plotted a new strategy, to utilize the four kings against the gods. When this failed, it is my belief that she started the legend of the Undead, a legend that would allow her to take various undead warriors into Lordran and have them relentlessly attack and destroy the gods she has been warring with. Gwendolyn then attempts to counter this by manipulating the undead into his own cause, that of linking the flames. Some may think Gwendolyn started the legend of the undead, as several undead from Astora talk about it, but if that were the case, there's absolutely no reason Velka would aid him and take the undead into Lordran for him. This is definitely a huge point of contention, and I'm just giving you guys my theory, and I'd love to hear what you guys believe. Do you think it was Gwendolyn, Front, Velka, or some other being who started the legend? But why plot against the gods? For each sin there is a punishment, and it is the task of Goddess Velka to define the sin and met out the punishment. Perhaps Velka felt the gods sinned, and it was time for their punishment. Perhaps she felt Gwendolyn was overstepping his bounds by meting out punishment when that was her duty. Or perhaps my belief. This is purely speculation, but I believe Velka was around at the start of the Age of Fire and viewed the gods guilty for wiping out the dragons. In the new regime, Gwendolyn has tried to take over her godly role, giving even more rise to her anger. She is now meting out justice to the gods of Lordran for the way they rose to power. Alright guys, that wraps up my Velka lore video. If you have any comments, thoughts, or theories on Velka, I'd love to hear. Also, I want to give shoutouts to MSPainting and John Quick for helping me piece together this Velka lore video. I hope you guys enjoyed, as I really tried to put a lot of time and thought into this one. I'll see you next time. Peace.